Good day and welcome to yet another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulo Hoyani. I witnessed Judge Ratha in that courtroom on a number of occasions. And one thing that comes to mind is just what is Judge Ratha, what does Judge Ratha think he's doing? Never in my life have I seen a judge stoop this low, showing outright bias in favor of the prosecution, vilifying defense counsels, and making their life completely miserable. There have been so many other instances, and among them, I could give you the example of the way, he treated Mngomezulu. You remember when Mngomezulu fell ill, there were those disparaging remarks, unfortunate remarks that Mngomezulu had been seen in around the Pretoria High Court building when Mngomezulu was fighting for his life in hospital. But there is one occasion that stands out for me, which involved Advocate Mshololo. I admire this lady. Hey, watintim fazi, watintim bogod. I admire this young, brave lady. Here was Judge Ratha on this occasion at probably his foulest. Judge Ratha on this occasion, this is the one clip that you must have. This is the one clip that tells it all. And this is the one clip that everybody must have. She vilified Mshololo, leaned in favor of the prosecution. I remember, you must listen to this clip carefully. You see, this centered around, let me begin by saying, this centered around an objection that Mshololo was raising, that a statement made by an arresting officer in the absence of the witness cannot be read into the record. Basically, that was the objection that Mshololo was raising. And Mshololo was raising this objection on the grounds of fairness, that it would be unfair to admit such a statement into the record for the reason that she put before the court, because the statement had not been made by the witness but had been made by the arresting officer. It was a simple issue that could have been disposed of, with the requisite etiquette, but not Judge Ratha. Judge Ratha came out fuming. This is Judge Ratha at his best. If there's anybody out there who says Judge Ratha is impartial in this trial, just play them this clip. This is what comes out of him. He makes vilifying comments about, isilungu sinzima, Mshololo. English is difficult. English is a nightmare, loosely translated. Disparaging remarks. He talks about, his 50 years of being in the legal profession, as if anybody wanted to hear that. And for a man in his 80s, he says he was an attorney for 30 years and a judge for 20 years. That's nothing to write home about in any event. But these were unnecessary things to bring up. Why tell Mshololo that you have been in practice or you have been, in the legal fraternity for the last 50 years? I've never been being accused of dishonesty. Who was accusing of dishonesty here? Mshololo was not accusing her of dishonesty. She was just raising an objection on the basis of fairness. At no stage did Mshololo indicate that Judge Ratha was being dishonest. But his response was in a harsh and brusque manner, in an acerbic manner, saying to Mshololo, I have never been been accused of being dishonest. I was trained by, among others, Bezos, all the rest of them, he names them. But everybody has got a history behind themselves. If he was trained by Bezos, somebody was trained by somebody somewhere. Unnecessary stuff that should never make it into a courtroom. But I want you to listen to this clip. I'll revisit it just after it concludes, because it is a very disturbing clip. It is a very disturbing clip. He intimidates the defense, and is ever so accommodating to the prosecution. Just take a listen to this, and I will, at a later stage, come back to this clip and give you some more of his analysis.
Yes, ma'am. That is apparently the arresting statement.
My Lord, I object.
Hello?
My Lord, I object on the basis of fairness, that the witness cannot be referred to the statement that was made by the arresting officer.
Which statement must he be referred to?
The statement that has just been read into the...
I hear you.
It was made by the
Arresting officer.
Not in front of this witness. He has no knowledge of the statement.
No, fine. I never said he has knowledge of whatever. I just said, where is the arresting statement, Mr. Sebande? Hello, just stand up. You told this court that there is an arresting statement. Hello?
Yes, because he requested for it.
I'm not involved in wanting somebody to go to jail. Now, after that, Mr. Sibia says, no, if you can show me that arresting statement, if you can show it to me. Then I said, where is it? Apparently he had given it to the lady there. Took time to get it. After he gets it, I say, apparently this is what they say is the arresting statement. And then I read it into the record. That's all I did.
My Lord,
And you say it's unfair.
my Lord, with due respect, my Lord, I understand what the Lordship is...
Don't accuse me of being a crook.
No, my Lord, I'm not...
No, just listen to me. You must never. I've been 50 years in the profession. I've never been accused of being a crook.
My Lord, I'm not accusing this.
What are you accusing me of?
But, my Lord, I am asking this court to listen to this. The accused, when he said, unless if I can be shown a statement wherein I was arrested on that day. Then my question is, my Lord, the statement that has been presented, my Lord, to the accused is not the statement that was made by the accused. It was made by the arresting office.
Nobody said the accused made an arresting statement. He's not a policeman. What are you saying?
As the court is.
Oh, it's long since him, eh?
My Lord.
Just wait, Mr. Just sit down. This witness never said he made an arresting statement. Don't misconstrue Izintola, please. He said he wanted to see the arresting statement. And Sebande, and I'm not involved in this nonsense. Sebande is the person who says there is an arresting statement. He wants to see it. They look for it, they can't find it. Ultimately, it is found. And I say, I want to see that statement because I don't have a copy of it. And there's no exhibit of this. Is that not so, sir? That's it. I read it to the court. So that everybody can hear what it says. After it is read, I say they must interpret it for Mr. Sibia. It is interpreted for her. And you say, I'm unfair. I'm unfair. Say, they are saying that is the arresting statement.
Kuthiwa yiso lesi statement esenzwe ngalesikhathi uboshwe.
You can make your comment if you want to, sir.
Apologies, mate.
There you have it. Judge Ratha at his vilest. He raised Mshololo for calling him a crook or insinuating that he's a crook, when Mshololo did no such thing. Later on in the same clip, there's somewhere where Sibande, the prosecutor, Balois Jr., raised an objection that Mshololo has been whispering some things to some witnesses. Even before Mshololo can respond, just by Sibande merely reporting him to the judge that she is allegedly communicating with a witness clandestinely. The judge confronts Mshololo on the spot and accuses her of doing that without getting Mshololo's side of the story. The altercation is taken further when Mshololo says, I did no such thing and I've got witnesses sitting in and around me who can testify to the effect that I never clandestinely communicated with any witness. This is Judge Ratha, biased and biased and biased. I've said at the beginning of this video that this is the one video that you must keep if you want to capture the mood of what was going on in this trial. You just have this clip, and every time you sort of forget what's going on here, you just play this clip. So he also made mention of his many years in the legal fraternity. Don't accuse me of being a crook. Don't accuse me of being a crook. Like, he's shouting up Mshololo like they're in his kitchen. Shouts down Mshololo. Like I always say, there was an objection. If there was an objection, there should have been a reply from the prosecution and he should have made a ruling on that objection. Instead, Mshololo is just, shoved away, just pushed away like nothing, right? And he rants and raves. Mshololo, to her credit, stands her ground and replies and says, I've got a right to say what I'm saying here because I've got an accused person to represent here, right? She does not back off. To her credit, she does not back off and tells her that everybody has got, experience of one sort or another, trying to, hit back at Judge Ratha, who was talking about his 50 years. Mshololo has got her own, track record to look behind, that she can show or display all over the place. Whether it is shorter than the 50 years, well, is neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, you look at the demeanor of the judge. The demeanor of the judge. That objection, rightly or wrongly, or let me say rightly because there's nothing wrong about it, Mshololo was perfectly entitled to raise an objection. If for some reason that objection was misplaced, right, the prosecution should have replied to that and then a decision is made and that disposes of the matter, but not Judge Ratha. Isilungu zinzima, yabona, awukho umgunyata la, things like that, street languages we hear here, which have no place in a courtroom, Who's talking about Mukunyata la, as if somebody is playing something underhand here. It is unfortunate. This is the bias. This is the bias that we are always talking about. How then do accused persons, in the face of conduct like this, get any semblance of a fair trial? If your defense lawyer, if the judge, if the presiding judge has no respect for your defense lawyer, how does your defense counsel even begin to represent you? Because, of course, anything that will come from that defense counsel will amount to nothing because the judge has got no respect for her. But Mshololo stood her ground. She stood her ground in spite of that, unfortunate verbal tornado coming her way. But it is sad to see things like this. It's sad to see things like this because at the end of the day, the real victim here is the cause of justice. It is the cause of justice. But I think it's about time Judge Ratha goes home. Sometimes you wonder why they called him out of retirement. So we can do without what we saw on this particular day in that courtroom. Thank you very much for watching this video and have a nice